Hey guys, Jerry. So a lot of you have requested sort of more advice, more tips on how to communicate better. And so I'm waiting for my plane, and I decided, you know what, this is a good one because a lot of people suffer from this, and it's not really your fault, because throughout life, throughout school, you're always taught, okay, you have to disagree, you have to make a point, you have to challenge the teacher. So we kind of grow up thinking, oh yeah, we always have to bring up another cooler point or another more brilliant point. And what you realize is, in life, a lot of times, just harmony is so important, right? And if you're constantly trying to undercut each other or constantly trying to talk over each other, it makes for very awkward and sort of not flowy interactions. So this is something that I learned in improv, and I kind of talked about it before, but I wanted to sort of reiterate it / expand on it. And this is the concept of building on instead of trying to go another way. And what that means is, when an idea gets tossed, try to see how you can build on that idea instead of just negating it. And this could work with anything. It could be someone says something, so this could be like an idea in a discussion, or this could be a logistic plan. For example, let's go here, right? And what you'll find is, one, you yourself will be less stressed out and less of a nuisance to other people if you're always the one that just, whoever throws out the idea first, you support. And two, it makes you a person that everyone wants to be around. And three, if you surround yourself with those people, you guys end up doing more and having more fun, because you don't spend time trying to discuss plans as much. You guys just do. And this brings me to a very interesting sort of experience I had. I was in Vegas. A lot of you saw at least one video about that. And this guy, he worked at the office next to mine, and he seemed pretty cool, right? But he did tell me he had a little bit of Asperger's, so I don't blame him for doing this. Maybe no one told him how to, be socially adept. But so he wanted to hang out pretty bad. He's like, yeah, let's hang out in Vegas. So I had two other friends I wanted to hang out with, so I hung out with my other friends, and then starting before dinner, I tried to text and plan something with this guy who worked at the office next to mine. And first I'm like, where do you want to eat? And then I don't know, he tossed a bunch of ideas, and he couldn't make up his mind. So I'm like, okay, well, if you don't really know where you want to eat, then you grab whatever you want to do, I'll grab whatever you want to do, and then we will meet up again and hang out after we eat. So he's like, okay, sure. So then after we eat, I text him again. I'm like, oh, I'm doing this. Do you want to do it? And he doesn't give me another idea. He's like, oh no, I heard this is lame. So then I give him another idea. I'm like, hey, do you want to do this? And then of course, again, he says, oh no, I heard this is lame. This is not something I want to do. So at this point, it's the second time he's negated my idea. So I just go for my next idea. I just go, I'm like, oh, I'm doing this. You should join me if you want. And he's like, oh, I'm okay. So I go do the thing, and I still want to hang out with him, right? Because he wanted to hang out with me. So after I do the thing, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go here. You want to join? And he's like, oh no, I've done that before. I don't want to do that. And so the whole night, I'm trying to make plans. He's not trying to make plans. He's waiting for me to make plans. And everything I toss out, he's not building on, not providing another idea. He's just negating it. And so it fell so one-sided, and then we ended up not hanging out. And eventually I'm just like, okay, dude, I think eventually I'm going to do one more thing. I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this. And you know what? If you're tired, you're tired. If you want to join me, join me. And he's like, oh, I'm tired. And I'm just going to go to sleep. We should try to hang out later. And then that was it. And I'm describing this to you because some of you, maybe you might be a little bit more disagreeable, or you might always try to take the lead, or always try to sort of be the alpha, right? You don't understand how it feels on the receiving side, a lot of you who watch my channel. So I'm describing you a situation, an example of how it feels to be on the receiving side. And the lesson to this is, it's really simple. It's exactly what I said before I gave this example. Just if the idea is not complete shit, like, just build on it, And here's like simple ways of how he could have easily just made the interaction more smooth. For example, let's say maybe the bar wasn't the best bar that I want to go to, but if he wanted to see me, he could have been like, oh, by the way, let's go here, but let's only stay for half an hour because there's another bar that I want to go to. You see, then he builds on my idea. Instead of saying, no, I'm not going to do this, he builds on the idea. In improv class, there's a concept, and I've talked about this before in a previous vlog, but there's another concept called yes and. If I throw out an idea, let's say we're doing improv, you and me, and I say, oh, look, you have a cow, right? You don't go, no, I don't, because then an idea just got squashed and we have to start from zero. Instead, if I say you have a cow, you can say something like, yes, and it moves twice a day, you see, and then you build. So you take this little lesson from improv, you can apply it to a social situation. So always think about how you can build up. And I think that's about it. I mean, the only other example I could give, and this is actually a very positive story. I had a friend, and I use him sometimes in some of my thumbnails, but when I first met him, he was really much, oh, I want to do it this way. I want to do it this way. Oh, no, I want to do it this way. And eventually, because I thought he was a great person, I cared for him as a friend, I texted him very bluntly. I'm like, dude, if you look at the history of our texts, everything I say you try to counter and you don't give a better idea. You just want to prove me wrong. And then he thought about it. He's like, this is interesting. I've never thought about it this way. He didn't agree with me at first, and that's good. That's a sign of intelligence. He wants to digest things. And then I saw him, and then I was like, you get what I mean, right? He's like, yes. And he actually got better at it. And now he's much more, okay, if people toss an idea out, and it's not a completely lame idea, or it's going to get you killed or something like that, let's just do it. And I guess the final lesson to this is be humble. Other people are smart too. Other people have their own experiences. So who says doing it their way is anything inferior to your sort of perception of things? So humbleness is another thing. Sometimes you might learn a lot doing it their way or going along with their plan and contributing your sort of additions to it. So I hope you guys like this. Social interactions are not easy. There's so many people in this world now. And we're all so different. We're all so sheltered. We got our phones, right? So a lot of us grow up kind of socially handicapped. Me too. And I'm learning too. But this is something that definitely works for me. So anyways, I thank you guys so much. Press like, press subscribe, and press the bell button. Talk to you guys next time.